thanks Mark and all CyberSec for your organization of the event. I'm Augustin Lemel. I'm from CEA. Okay, I see the presentation. Thanks. I'm working in the spot, and I put the webcam. Sorry. Yeah, hope you can see me. Yeah. So yes. So I'm working in the SPARTA coordination team with Florent that you heard yesterday and Thibaut that will speak on tomorrow. And I'll accompany you before lunch for this presentation, hoping not to bore you too much. And yeah, let's move to the presentation. So you might have heard this a bit from the 3 presentations today and the panel yesterday, but a bit of context is we are answering the call from the European Commission on creating national cybersecurity competence centers, and so SPARTA is one of the 4 pilots here. And the aim of this is to bring together all the actors of cybersecurity in Europe and scale up, in that sense, the European cybersecurity research and innovation. So here, and more precisely, our goal will be to go from a fragmented ecosystem to what we call the network of competence center. And what we believe in SPARTA is that we need to take some high risk, high reward action here to achieve this goal. And well, first action we have and would be to experiment on governance right on SPARTA pilot governance. So we are every day reflecting on our governance and changing the SPARTA aspect of governance. And for that, our main principle, our main aim, our guiding principle in governance, which what I'll say is mission oriented. So we believe that we need to follow a mission that we define, and that mission, well, was quite explained a bit in the proposal, but that's something we refined in the well-known almost 2 years of SPARTA running. So that mission is written here on the slide, and that's to shape the cybersecurity technologies required to establish and maintain a European strategic digital autonomy. And what we developed and what we tried to do in SPARTA is centered on this particular mission. So that's our focus here. And well, first of all would be what's strategic digital autonomy. And in that sense, we believe there's like more than the definition underneath, so that it's the ability to set one's own priorities, and make one's own decision. It's that we need some capabilities in Europe to understand the domain we're working on, to know and to assess the objects that we're working on, and also at the same time to know the context of cybersecurity. So here, for example, it would be situational awareness, quite important factor here. And that's the things we aim to develop in the work packages of SPARTA. So here we are taking action using the wide diversity of actors of SPARTA in the goal of mission oriented in the goal of that mission. And then well, after this mission, we also have to assess our impact of the impact of SPARTA on strategic autonomy, and that's also something we try to consider in all the, let's say, community activities of SPARTA, how to build our impact, how to widen, deepen it, to extend to more people, to make sure that what we do will go beyond Sparta and will have some lasting impacts. So and of course here is quick summary, and you will get more of that in some governance presentation tomorrow of Sparta governance in the cross-pilot workstream. But short show of the diversity we brought in Sparta, of 44 partners coming from academia, industry, authorities, well, national authorities, but also from grassroots movements in Europe. So we tried to gather a wide range of actors to really have all the points of view that we could possibly think of. And that's also something we do with the associate. So I'll go more in details with associate later on, but we try to keep this diversity in our associate in Sparta. So to try to keep academia, industries, and etc. in a good proportion. And I might have put some graphs here showing you the proportion, but I'll let you believe me that we have a good proportion of each, and that we are really counting on them to give their diverse point of view on strategic autonomy. Yeah. So okay. So I spoke a bit like that, but then what do we actually do in Sparta? So I'll start with some logos, because we like logos in Sparta. Those are the logos, or our first three main instruments, so roadmap, programs, and partnerships. So that's what we call instruments are the big pillars that we developed in Sparta. And then we have, unfortunately, only one logos for the governance and the other enablers. So what we call enablers would be certification, training, dissemination, etc. We only have the logo for governance because we were running low on colors for the logos, but governance is one of the main enablers we aim to develop in Sparta, and that's something we made a whole work package on, separated from project management. So that's where we think of mission oriented, of the mission of Sparta, on how to change our governance if need be in Sparta. And that governance in Sparta is roughly organized like that, and that's purely structurally speaking. So we have the programs here. We have all the what I call the enablers that are up there, that are supporting the whole execution of Sparta, and then we have the roadmap and the partnership. We also have some decision bodies that we can put in the structure there. But what's important to see here is that our programs are relatively independent. That means we are not really imposing governance structure here on Sparta program, and you'll see later that there are some diverse governance structures in each of the programs, and that's we believe it's something in Sparta that leads to the results we have, and that leads to good the good progress we make. But we are not forgetting, of course, in Sparta, the ethics part of the cybersecurity issues. So we try in Sparta to put ethics, legal and societal aspects as a first-class topic to discuss. So we have, once again, a whole work package on that, and really they are interacting with all the programs, with all our Sparta's activities to try and see what else our issue might be here, how to address them, and work in close collaboration with our work packages to solve these issues. In addition of that everyday work from ELSA, we have some assessment of Sparta done by that work package. So we have, well, first, not an outsider view, but a first view of the assessment. And afterwards, we'll even do an external assessment of Sparta to see from an external point of view if we think we are doing that right or not. Yeah, and of course, we are also doing an ELSA audit every once in a while to see if we are good with that in each of the work package. So those are important topics, and just a quick example on interaction of ethics and programs would be in, for example, AI, where we try to develop some fair AI system. So in one of the 4 programs, Sapphire, we try to solve these issues of fairness. Diving a bit deeper in Sparta is roadmap and programs. So roadmap will also be presented tomorrow with the well, I'm not sure if it's tomorrow, but with the roadmap work group. But the idea in Sparta of road mapping and programs is a continuous loop of integration and execution and feedback of results into the roadmap. So the 4 programs here were selected from the initial from some initial challenges that we identified as quite key to strategic autonomy in the proposal stage of the project. But now that they are running, we take their inputs and feed them back into our roadmap to expand on the challenges, to get new idea on those 4 topics. But of course, that's not our only input for the roadmap, because we try to gather challenges from more than the 4 programs, and we developed a roadmap containing 12 challenges, and that's 12 challenges of last year. It's a bit for teasing, the roadmap will be the new version will be ready end of January. So look forward to it. But the roadmap is articulated on the same mission that the whole Sparta project is articulated on. So our same mission statement, and we try to develop the challenges in the roadmap on the same basis and working toward that mission. So we then, of course, we base ourselves on the JRC taxonomies, and then we subdivide our challenges into smaller parts for comprehensibility. And of course, one of the also important factors that we developed this year was interaction in this roadmap. And we put on the Sparta website this year a questionnaire to get feedback from users, from everyone on our roadmap to get feedback on the existing challenges, on what could be the next challenges. And that's quite an important point of gathering feedback and from all possible sources in Europe on cybersecurity that we aim for roadmap. A bit more structurally speaking, for the roadmap, we can see with that beautiful scheme on the right side that roadmap is interacting with all our internal but also external groups of people. So the 4 pilots, the 3 other pilots, EXO, ENISA, I don't know, and all other possible sources. And we try with that to gather more challenges, to be as open as possible, and then to be, well, as responsive and agile as possible to integrate the input in that. So that's why we are already on our 3rd version of the roadmap that's being prepared. We published already 2, so we are trying to move fast and move to update the roadmap fast so that it does not become obsolete very quickly. I think I'm through. Yeah, going further. So roadmap, and after roadmap comes the program as a logical suite, as the feedback loop of the roadmap and program is here. So we have 4 programs in SPARTA, and here I will mainly do some teasing. I could have presented you some videos, but time is quite short, even if 45 minutes is already long. But we have quite a few demos for the 4 programs, and you can try and contact us if you want to see more of that. But so I'll be mainly doing teasing on the 4 programs. And another reason I'm doing teasing is because we have quite a few results that will be coming up on month 24 for SPARTA. So that means in end of January. So you can look forward to see some new results from us, and I'm quite excited about that. So let's start the teasing. Okay, so first of our programs would be T-Shark. So as I mentioned earlier, to know the context in Europe, to know the context of cybersecurity is important, and we need to have some awareness here and situational awareness, and that's, well, let's say the main focus of the T-Shark program, where we try to develop a full spectrum cybersecurity awareness, as written here. And in fact, what does that mean? It means we develop command threat intelligence, data model and sharing processes, and we developed a model based on MISP, but also with some extension and some improvement to our cases and to what we do and what we think would improve the MISP platform for cybersecurity. And we worked on that to also with regard of the GDPR on threat intelligence data. So once again, we incorporate every ELSA aspect in our programs and what we do, and especially for something like threat intelligence, where ethics and where you can share data, you can share a lot of things. So it's quite an important question that we try not to forget. Here, and I'll let you contact us if you want more details on the use case. We have a use case of using MISP, of using our MISP interpretation for election interferences. So look forward to that also. And as I was mentioning earlier, we led some liberties on governance model for our programs. So actually, T-Shark is one of the is quite special in that aspect because it's working in stage gates processes, and it has an arbitrage group that is validating and supervising the decision in T-Shark, an arbitrage group made of various stakeholders. So quite an interesting governance structure that's implemented in T-Shark and totally different from our other programs. Continuing the teasing on CAPE. So CAPE is our second program that's working mainly on the assessment, well, in polymorphous environment, but that means mainly the assessment when the systems are changing, when the system are systems of systems, so complex things that have third-party software that are updating quite often extra, and we need to try and certify that that ever-changing system. And here we have two verticals that have converged in that program, and I'll quickly introduce the vehicle vertical, but we also have the e-government vertical that will be for a later presentation, I guess. The vertical on automotive, I'll present that because we have some results that are coming up, and we are proud of them, so I'll tease them a bit for you to see. So the vertical is on the automotive platooning scenario. So here you can see an example of pipeline that we created to be able to certify ever-changing systems. And so using an automotive tool that generates code, we then verify it, we then we verify it with pharmacy, and then we can transmit the information to others reporting tools, which then or certifying tools, which then take the information and process them to verify if the update, if the new version, if the running version is working. And yeah, and that's something you look forward to show, because I think it's every man's dream to see some small cars running around in a circle. Yeah, we have some small rovers that are driving in Platoon, and that we implement our pipeline on. So quite funny use case, let's say, but with small cars. So it's something you look forward to see in month 24, so in January. So yeah, so that's for K program, and continuing on other programs of SPARTA. Sorry. We have the IT program that is here focusing on intelligence infrastructure, so systems composed of a lot of IoT devices, in fact. And here we are trying to, well, secure the whole range of IoT devices, but it also goes by with the updates of IoT devices, with the software, the OSs of inside the devices, and quite some new challenges that are coming up here. And we also integrate some. We also try to integrate some privacy by design or resilience by design aspect here, so that well, your your IoT device is not spying on everybody. And we can prove that by design. Here, and also a very interesting use case, and that's we reproduced on digital basis. We reproduced a whole smart building. So a building that has a whole number, quite a huge number of IoT devices everywhere, and we try to. We couldn't access it physically, so in the end we reproduce that, and then we can try our use cases, and we can try to secure everything in there. So it goes from smart parking to small temperature devices, measuring devices, and we try to check everything here and to secure that, in fact. And for that, we have one of our partners, so INRIA, that's working with the that's co-authoring the secure software update standard, and that's a work well in progress, let's say. And so INRIA is working on the Riot OS system that's an OS for IoT devices. And the idea here is to be able to do the updates of the IoT device remotely and in a secure fashion. So once again, the video is available if you want to contact us. I'm sure the IT guys will be quite happy to show you the demonstration in another workshop or something. So, but here the idea is to secure the updates of the device like that, and quite an interesting topic also. So, and once again, teasing because we have some results that are coming in that 4 months 24, so January. So once again, look forward to that. And yeah, and continuing on that a bit, last but not least, a bit more exploratory program in SPARTA is the Sapphire program. Sapphire is related to AI systems, and a topic that's quite novel, but how to defend AI system, because it's quite easy to do AI in nowadays, but we also proved that some attacks are quite easy on neural network or other AI system. So that's something we aim to do in that program, to counter the attacks, to explain how it works, but also, and that's the collaboration with the ethics I mentioned above earlier. We try to see that the AI system will not breach GDPR in its execution, that it will not use personal data in an unsightly way or anything like that. And we also try to prove that, well, not to prove, but to develop tools that are fair, that do not develop a bias in the decision-making process. So that it's not trained for that is trained with absolute fairness. That's why we try to develop here. And also here, because the topic is quite novel, so we also try to raise the public awareness here. And one of the things we will try to do is to organize a contest of AI programming attacks and defenses. There's a small timeline here, but it's still tentative timeline. But once again, in the teasing, look forward to the contest that should launch in February on AI programming defense and attacks. So that's quite an important topic here. And yeah, and so ending on the roadmap and programs, and that took some of my time, but those are important aspects of Sparta. But the following are also important aspects because they are the aspects that allow us to disseminate, to widen our impact with the results of what I just presented, to be able to share everything to you, to our associates, to all Europe, and to raise the awareness, etc. So first thing is our associate and friends program. So might have already seen that in some of our presentation, but we developed two levels of joining in Sparta. So there's the associates that that have some commitment to our activities, and that will have some access to our resources. And then there's the friends that less commitment or no commitment, but also receive some news, and that's our way to propagate and disseminate our results through these friends and associates. And sorry. And that can be done to monthly workshops that we organize. Of course, in the context of the pandemic, we organize most virtual events, and we organize maybe we try to maintain the number of events, but there was, of course, some difficulty here. But we also organized a totally virtual brokerage event to help and build the future for the future collaboration on European project or national initiative, etc. And we'll try to do another one in February next year, to once again boost the cooperation in Europe on that. And yeah, and of course, in what's in partnership, we also develop a joint competence center infrastructure. So here, you can already find it online, and we just made an update here, but it's a platform, in fact, to regroup the services that Sparta develop or Sparta partner propose, and to regroup that on one platform. So for now, we mostly have workbenches or services to work on, but also some courses, online courses, MOOC, etc., that are in our virtual learning part. And in the future, we'll also develop cyber ranges, and that will be incorporated here. Yeah, I think a brief showcase of the website here, but it's a bit too small for you to read. But we have here the website system for the GCCI, and then what's beneath that, and you will not see, is that we created a decentralized system to gather inputs from all partners in an easier fashion. So we have a big central server that will gather the services from all our partners and display it for everyone on the website. So that you can already check on the Sparta GCCI website. So feel free to go there. Continuing on community, it's not changing slide. It's not moving slide, sorry about that. Mark, my slides are not moving. Okay. 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 So continuing on community and training. So one of the main and I'm running late on time, so I'll accelerate a bit. Sorry. But one of the main output of SPARTA this year was our cybersecurity skill framework that we based on the NICE and the GRC NICE framework and the GRC taxonomy, while of course including the things like the EU landscape or the GDPR rules. And we built that, but now we are also part of the ENISA work group for European skill framework, and we also tested this framework on our good practice curricular design. So we implemented our framework, and using that framework, we analyzed more than 100 existing programs, and we analyzed and published them in one of our deliverables, but also to make it a bit more interactive for you and for everybody. We published an online tool, a mapping tool that presents everything. Um, and that's and we are also for that online tool working with ENISA to provide some data here. And yes, we are, and after our deliverable, we are still maintaining that tool, so you can go on the SPARTA website to see that, and it should be updated regularly. So, and yeah, and okay, and for our analysis of courses, and for after our analysis, in fact, we introduced some SPARTA topics, but we also developed a good practice curricula methodology. So methodology to help and allow new program design to fit better to the European landscape and context. So we developed that also in an online tool. So here are the SPARTA topics, but just for you to see and the analysis of courses. But the main focus here is an online tool that will hopefully soon be available. For now, it's still beta phase, but it would be an online tool to help you design your courses and to help you shape easily your bachelor or master degrees courses. And there we also already tried and applied this methodology and this tool to more than 10 courses, and already gathered some feedback from students and participants to the courses. So that's something we'll report on soon. So it's quite interesting, and it's quite important to raise the awareness and to shape the future, or at least in training. So yeah, it's a good result, I think, from our SPARTA side. And yeah, continuing on dissemination and communication. So of course, we are present on social media, on our website. We publish news, we have an internet newsletter, etc. But we also have some specific programs like the Go Cyber with Sparta that aims at the outermost region. And that was a part of widening the impact of trying to include the most people possible. And we included the outermost region of Europe in that, with different training programs. So in universities in Las Palmas de Gran Canaria, so in Spain, Canaries, and also in La Réunion, where we are working on critical infrastructures, and finally on in La Martinique, where we also try to develop the training of SMEs here. So there are action in progress, but quite interesting to widen our impact in Sparta. The next and not the least of the Sparta campaign is Women in Sparta, and of course we partner up with the campaign of EXO, but we also organized our partners organized a breakfast webinar on the subject of gender and diversity, and we also published on our Sparta website some videos of women in Sparta and on their role in the Sparta project to raise awareness here, because quite an important topic, as I guess you all know. So yeah, Women in Sparta campaign is live, and we also I'm almost forgetting that we are also planning some action in high school to raise the awareness here, so to address once again the widest range possible of actors, so high schools, girls, before they choose to go in their studies, so that they can know that cybersecurity is also available for them, and that they should not be excluded from that. So quite an important point here that I almost forgot, sorry. So yeah, quite a lot of action here, and you can check them also on the Sparta website with the videos of women in Sparta. And concluding, because I'm already a bit late, that was what we've done in 22 months, I guess, from Sparta. And that was not even all, because we have only 45 minutes, so I can't present. I did not present some certification or exploitation action that we took in Sparta, but that will be things that will be quite important in the last part of Sparta also, because we are starting to have the tools, we are starting to have everything developed, so we need to think of next step also here. And so Sparta, quite a few more things to look forward in Sparta, and I hope you will be there to look at the things we do, and you will enjoy them. So that's it for me. Thank you all for your attention.